Try not to take it past 5,500 RPMs. Any wheelies or no wheelies?
Drink it, you buy it, have fun.
Alright. Alright, what's up everybody? This is XXXDEADHEAD. Yeah. What? No, I'm good. No worries. Alrighty, let's go test ride a 2014 FZ-09. Shall we? Sits a bit tall for me. I'm on my tippy toes. And he said I could go in any mode I want. Right now we are in standard mode. Alright. So far so good. Just get used to the bike a little bit here. Let's try mode A. Alright, we're in mode A. Oh yeah, this bike feels great. So I really did kind of consider this bike at one point here, and it's a fantastic bike. Yeah, it's $8,000 for a Yamaha FZ-09, or the MT-09 as it's labeled in Europe. Brakes seem fine. The display setup is nice. It's easy to read. You do have to look down to see what speed you're going, what RPMs you're at. I don't see any issues with the display at all. It's being able to, as far as telling where you're at as far as RPMs, you just know that at the brake here you're at 6,000. I guess for the break-in period, he's pretty much done with it after this road trip, but I guess you're not supposed to go over 5,500 RPMs on this bike, so I'll try my best not to do that. Very, very flickable bike. It's a little narrow in stance around the tank, but still very comfortable to grip your knees up against the tank. I'm entering the town of Nice, and I feel like I'm on a nice bike. This is a nice bike for the town of Nice. I'm in A mode right now, which is the sportiest of modes. Now this is a new bike for Drizz 650. This is, I don't know if I would highly recommend this bike as for a new rider. When he told me about that he was going to get this bike, I did say, well, be careful. It is a beast of a bike, but I'm in B mode now, which is the weakest of all the modes. And I don't really feel like, it has a lot of power, don't get me wrong. I'm in 4th gear now, going 33, and if I roll on that throttle, I get moving pretty good. So, you have to just be mindful, I guess, as a new rider. You just got to ride in a higher gear, and that way you're not messing around with all that torque and pull. But I think it's very much a doable bike, especially at the price point that it's at. It's going to be a very hot item for, especially new riders are going to want to get into this if they have the money for it. And I can't blame them. $8,000 is you're getting one hell of a bike for $8,000. Stock exhaust is very quiet, but it has a nice growl to it. Again, I'm in B mode now. Oh, it's a beautiful lake. This is Clearlake in California, and I'm riding the FZ-09. Can't go wrong. As far as comfort goes, I think it's actually really comfortable. It's got a nice sports stance to it. It's almost got like a supermoto seat on it, so it's a little different in that sense, but it's cool because you can just kind of, depending upon, how long, if you're going on a long ride, I think that it'd be really comfortable to be able to just kind of stretch your legs out, sit back on the bike, and a lot of positions to kind of tuck into. I don't feel like a big guy on a little bike at all. I feel like this bike's about perfect for my height. As far as inseam goes, I'm kind of stepping on my tippy toes, but you know, for a first bike, if you're on your tippy toes, I don't highly recommend that, but it's a little bit better to have a firmer footing, just for confidence as you begin riding. But Driz is a very tall guy, so I'm sure he has no problem flat-footing it on this bike. So as far as handling goes, I mean, it's very confidence inspiring through the turns. It does great. I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with the suspension, and no, I haven't really had enough saddle time in this bike to really feel like I can chime in on that. Of course, for a lot of twisty riding, if you're riding the twisty roads, you know, I would just say go with the flow and upgrade the rear shocks and maybe do the front forks. But so far, I mean, it's very comfortable. It seems to eat up these bumps pretty well. I mean, you feel them, but nothing close to as extreme as my iron. The seating position, like I said, it is very much upright, a little pushed forward, and for more of a sporty or aggressive standard position, this is very, very good. I like this a lot. I have no complaints with this bike so far, other than I'm stuck in a little town with mean little sheriffs and cops that like to pull people over. That's my only gripe with this bike, and that has nothing to do with the bike. So I'm in 6th gear right now, going 33, and it's doing just fine. It doesn't have a whole lot of get up and go when I roll on the throttle, but for just kind of cruising through town, this is great. Very mellow, and I feel next to no engine vibration. The mirrors seem pretty functional. Let's get back into A mode here. Yeah, the mirrors seem pretty functional. You do see a bit of your shoulders, but not a whole lot. The cornering on this is just effortless. Fantastic bike. I think as far as a bike for commuting, a bike for hitting up the twisties, and a bike for going out on a tour with, this is a great bike. I think I have finally found the one bike that, you know, that feels equal to my bike as far as my liking of it, my enjoyment of it. Oh, that torque is just right there, so readily available. This bike makes me want to, you know, get out and really open up this this throttle and really just experience the roads. I don't necessarily feel like this desire to hit up, you know, just twisties. I feel like I want to go tour. I feel like I want to go ride. I just want to ride everywhere I possibly can, do everything I can, take it to work every day. Extremely flickable. I love the fact that this bike is just so nimble. The brakes seem to be fantastic. They work just fine. I don't really notice any of that fueling issue. I don't know if he's remapped this or not, but you know, I am in a higher gear though. It feels great. There's a little bit of a disconnect between my throttle hand and the bike, so I do see some of that. I do feel kind of like I move the throttle and I'm not getting that instant satisfaction, and that's probably just the fly-by-wire setup. My way. Yeah, the suspension does feel a little soft. Yeah, you kind of feel like you're bouncing around, kind of all willy-nilly. on the turns when you hit a little bump or hit a little groove, but it's nothing bad. I mean, it's not, I would totally enjoy this bike stock for quite some time. Oh, fantastic bike. Wow, for $8,000, I'm just, what a package. What a great deal. It's almost like, it feels like you're almost you're stealing it from the lot at $8,000. Perfect place, perfect bike, perfect weather. You can't go wrong. Not like this. Very comfortable bike. I feel like there is maybe a little bit of a push towards me resting on the throttle, so you just have to be very, very, very conscious of how you relax your hand on the throttle, so you're not putting too much input. Now bear in mind, I'm not going as fast as I could or would. I do have my bike behind me, and I try to always stay conscious of that. At the same time, I am in a small, community where the cops do love to pull over people and make their money. And I'm not about getting a speeding ticket just to give you guys a good review. This bike definitely can travel fast. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, that turn right there was just simple as could be. And this thing cuts corners beautifully. All right. They've caught back up. Good, good. Oh, this bike is amazing. Just a splendid bike, guys. Oh, this is a fantastic bike. I definitely highly recommend this bike. If you get a chance to get out and test ride it, you won't be let down. This bike is just, it's awesome. Great job, Yamaha. And I'm loving the torque. I love the fact that the horsepower kicks in for you. It's got plenty of horsepower. I think it's like at 115 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. It seems high, and then it's like 65 torque, and that's probably right around 9,000 RPMs. But wow, I mean, just what a fantastic engine, fantastic bike. I was a little, looking at the bike online, I was kind of like, okay, this bike definitely needs ABS brakes, and it seems so like it's missing some key components against its rivals. But the brakes feel fantastic. The throttle is great. I have no complaints. There are things that could be better. That little bit of disconnect, it would be great if it was just a little bit more connected with the throttle. The suspension, I really have no complaints on the suspension, to be honest, but I'm not really pushing this bike to its ultimate limit. It feels very comfortable for just a stock. I would say this is great even just for like your daily commute through the city on rough roads and so on. This thing doesn't have the biggest gas tank, and it probably doesn't get the greatest mileage, but you could probably go about 150 or so miles on a tank of gas. So no complaints there. But yeah, this is a very confidence-inspiring bike, and I am definitely in love with this. This is by leaps and bounds my favorite bike that I've test ridden so far, up to date, especially for the money. You know, test riding the CVO Breakout, that was a $30,000 motorcycle, and that motorcycle put a grin on my face. But the $30,000 price range on that thing just about eliminates that grin. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with this bike for the money. In fact, like I said before, I literally do feel like you're kind of robbing Yamaha by buying this bike, because I could easily see them charging $9,000 and maybe just a smidge more and still remain relatively competitive. But it's great that they have this bike under $8,000. I can't wait to see what they come up with in the following years. I would like to see ABS on this. I'm not sure what it has for traction control, but some of those features would be nice as an option, if anything. But wow, I mean, maybe don't even change a thing, because this is just great. If I had this bike now, there are some things that I would get rid of. I would definitely want to change out these turn signals. I don't like the wobbly, plasticky stuff. So I would try to get something more rigid, something that looked a little bit better. But looks aren't really what I'm talking about. It's just that floppiness, how it kind of just flops around. And I noticed that with the back tail lights as well, having ridden behind this bike for a while. They just kind of wobble. And so I would change that out. I would definitely get the front cowl, the front little fairing here. The mirrors, I might do mirror ends, but the mirrors are fine. The exhaust, I would definitely change out the exhaust and get something with more grunt, because this bike, especially in A mode, has a ton of growl to it. And I can hear it now. The difference between B mode and A mode is pretty drastic in the sound of the growl. But it would be nice to just be able to hear those pipes. Let the bike sing. The suspension, I would definitely change that out in the long run. I'd try to get something nice for it. But that's the beauty of this bike, is that you're buying it for $8,000, and that leaves you several $1,000s of room to upgrade things and tweak things and really have just a solid killer looking bike. Not that it's not killer looking right off the bat. I think the only true competition of this bike would be the Street Triple. But as far as looks go, at least in my opinion, this bike hands down has a sexier look to it. Not to diminish the Street Triple, that's a fantastic bike. And now I drop down to third gear. I'm going about 40 miles an hour, and in A mode, and it does feel quite jerky, but I kind of expect that. And I'm being pretty drastic with the throttle, you know, just letting go on the throttle and then giving it throttle. This bike, if you let it with the A mode, you'll definitely develop a very precise throttle arm. And if you travel in A mode all the time, for something like this, I think standard mode is plenty fine. Let's go ahead and try out standard mode. The shift lever does, you know, it is a little bit more of a sporty shift lever, so it takes a little bit more effort to get my foot around it or underneath it, as opposed to my Sportster, for example, which has a far more relaxed shift lever. So, but I don't see any complaints with it. It's not like the Ducati Hypermotard. That thing was just damn near impossible to get a boot underneath. This bike, there's definitely room in there. You just kind of have to tilt your foot down a ways to get to it, which is not bad at all. Again, I've been riding this bike for some miles, and I do feel like there's a little bit of strain on my wrists, just because of the stance. I kind of feel like I'm floating above these the handlebars. Wow, once you kick in with that horsepower, once you like that torque, starts maximizing and you start hitting that horsepower, and this bike just sings. I felt it for just a moment, and I wish I could go feel it more, but just too many vehicles in front of me. But wow, this is a fantastic bike, guys. No doubt in my mind that this wouldn't be a grin producing bike for just about anybody who sat on it. It is definitely a hooligan's bike with the simplicity of all the wheelies and so on, but if you can control that wild, untamed part of you, and you're cool with sitting in standard mode or B mode more often, I don't see any reason why a beginner couldn't start on this, but again, it wouldn't be the bike I would recommend. Yeah, I mean, this bike just flies. It'd be nice to hear a little bit more of the engine. Having that visceral connection with the sounds is pretty awesome. I do feel the lightness of this bike though when the wind picks up. I think this bike only weighs in at like 430 pounds if I'm not mistaken. So it's about 150 pounds lighter than my bike. And I can feel it when the wind picks up. It feels like it's a little buttery. Kind of feel like the tires are kind of just moving around a little bit. And I don't feel like it's a whole lot of wind, but I don't feel like I've lost control or anything along those lines. It's just a light bike. So yeah, having that 6th gear, that's pretty damn nice. At 70 miles an hour, this bike just flows really well. This would be a great bike for touring. I don't see any problems with you know, touring on this bike versus touring on my bike as far as comfort levels. I think it would almost be an equal trade-off. They're both naked bikes. Mine might have a little bit more of a relaxed posture to it, but this one has more real estate for the seat for you to kind of move your butt around and get comfortable. You can sit more upright. You can go more of a sporty route. Let me see if I can get the owner to pull up next to me. I love it. You like that?
It's good. You know what? The sound is nice. The rumble you get under your legs.
Yeah, feels good, huh?
It feels. I feel like I'm planted on the bike.
Yep. Now, I am having to break this thing in. Oh, it shows that I'm in eco mode, which is pretty damn cool. So I'm getting optimized fuel consumption. The gearing, and this might be a lot of this might have to do with the fact that it's being broken in, but I can't really go over 5,500 RPMs, or I'm trying my best to follow Drizz's recommendation, and he's doing the soft break-in for it, and but yeah, I definitely feel like at least having to stop at 5,500 RPMs is just really short gearing, and you have to move up the gears pretty fast, and it's not as kick-ass in power as I'd like it to be. Now, if I could get past that 5,500 range, like once the bike's broken in, if you're doing the soft break-in, I see no reason why this bike couldn't just freaking sing. yeah, the fact that you're so light and nimble, it's pretty awesome. Very much a great commuter, a great city bike, a great bike for out in the country to kind of hooligan around on, and I think a fantastic choice for just comfortable and sporty, twisty action. This bike has that sport attitude to it. I do feel some warmth building up on my left foot, but not a whole lot, nothing crazy. I have heard comments about that, and I just noticed it, that I was actually feeling a little bit of that myself. It's weird having so many gears to go down through. This is the one we go straight, right? Yeah. But definitely a confidence-inspiring bike. I really enjoy this bike. This will definitely be a bike that I'll keep my eye on over the next few years and kind of see how it progresses and kind of see what the market reacts with to kind of compete with this bike. But so far, from what I can gather, you got a triple cylinder engine, just under $8,000 starting price, and and it's kind of just meets the trifecta that I look for. Just having that commuting ability, the commuting power to take you to and from work all the time, the comfort for long touring, and the sportiness for the twisties. And that's, to me, that's just what a bike's all about, and this bike definitely meets that criteria for me. So yeah, all in all, I like this bike. I like this bike a lot. I like it a lot. I do like this bike, guys. I do like it. And oh, what a beaut. It's just so cozy just to sit back, relax, and just enjoy the day, enjoy the scenery right before you. You're sitting upright, you're just cozy. Oh, it's perfect. This is a fantastic bike. I'm gonna have to get me one of these. Now the seat is plywood with a little bit of padding. I hear that's what Yamaha does best, is they do a really good job with plywood and padding. No, in all honesty, the seat's not horribly uncomfortable, but it is very stiff, and that would probably, like, if I only had $1,000 to throw on this bike when I first bought it to upgrade anything, I would probably do slip-ons and a nice seat. And honestly, I would probably even put just the full $1,000 into a seat. I could see that being an excellent first thing to upgrade. And if you're tall, get yourself a nice tall seat. And if you've got that kind of a smaller inseam, then get a reduced reach seat. And I think that would be perfect. It'd be nice to have some type of rear support, as far as right now it's just kind of a flat plank. Like I said, it's kind of a supermoto type style seat. It would be nice to have some type of a rear cowl system that would kind of catch your butt and allow you to really just kind of feel firm and planted in the seat. But really, it just needs comfort. All that aside, I would very much enjoy myself on a 500-mile day, or like today we're doing 360 miles. I'm sure that this would be just a fantastic bike for that. Type of bike that you go by a cop and you got to slow down because you realize you're maybe going a little bit too fast. So no, this is a fun bike, man, and I would have been very happy to have had this for my first bike. So Driz650, I thank you so much, man, for giving me the opportunity to ride your bike, to enjoy this MT-09, this FZ-09 of the States. And wow, what a great triple engine, man. I love this triple cylinder engine. And this bike is fantastic as well. No complaints for me. I give it an A+. And wow, yes, get out there and ride safe, guys. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out. So yeah, 2014 FZ-09. So it comes stock with the purplish blue wheels on there when you go with this charcoal gray. They have an eliminator here that's real snazzy. I think you can even just bolt these on straight underneath. Possibly, maybe. Very good.